Hey everyone, this is Dan. So this painting video is going to be a little bit different, and it's kind of going to be like the ultimate iterative painting video because it didn't even start out as a painting. I've had this, long-standing affinity for the look of end grain plywood, so when you take plywood and you glue it up side by side, I just really like the way that those different layers and the grain pattern looks together. So what I started doing, and I'll show you right here, is I glued up these sections of plywood, and these are cut probably to 2.5 inches long, something like that. And what I was originally going to do with that is build a tabletop for the shop here. And I was gonna, glue these up together and it'd be like a really thick butcher block top. But what I've decided to do is take them and repurpose them to make some panels for painting, and then maybe some other projects as well. We'll see. I have enough of it here that I can, resaw, glue up, and take it quite a ways. It'll have a lot of legs. So the first part of this process is just that. We're going to resaw, run the pieces through the planer, and start making some panels. So let's go ahead and get started. The first part of this process was trying to get rid of some of the glue that had squeezed out from the glue up. And so I'm just using the paint scraper here and kind of going over it and scraping it up as I go. And you're consider yourself fortunate that you don't have to listen to the sound of the paint scraper on the wood, because it was pretty much like nails on a chalkboard. The next thing that happens is we take these after cleaning them up and run them through the planer. I didn't want to put all that glue through the planer because it kind of gunks it up and gets into the blades, but that's what's happening here. We're just running these through, trying to bring down the surface to level and doing it on both sides. And there are actually, I don't know how many, 3 or 4 of these boards that are going through, so we're just seeing part of the process here, but the idea is the same for all of them. And the last thing we're doing is we're taking the board, and the surfaces are smooth now. They've gone through the planer. We're just running them through the table saw and resawing them. This process is always a little bit scary, but it is what it is. And at the end, they come out and they look pretty nice. We're going to end up with a number of different panels, and they're probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 3/4 of an inch thick. I wasn't super precise, but that's approximately what they ended up being. So this is me just sort of experimenting with some colors and thinking about what I might want to do. I don't have the last part of the video where I cut these panels down, but they're about 5.5 inches square, and that's kind of a size that I've used a lot. So I'm just sort of sticking with that. And these are really, intended to be more studies. I have a lot of this plywood, so I can make bigger panels as well, but these are just small, and I'm just trying to do some little experiments here and see how it turns out. So that's what we'll do, and we'll just get to painting. Now, one of the things that happened is after I let the blue dry and I was sort of looking at it, and I decided that it was it was darker than I wanted, but I didn't really know exactly what I wanted it to look like, I guess. And so I decided just to keep moving at this point in the painting, and I knew that I was going to come back and I was going to try to lighten up that blue or make it a little bit different. But for the time being, I decided just to press on and keep going. And in case it wasn't obvious before, at this point you can kind of tell what I'm really trying to do is create like an abstract landscape. And I know that it's going to be super simple, but I have the ocean down below, I have a little bit of a sun sky up above, and then I'll have a little yellowish sun coming in here in a little bit, and then we'll also do some green for the land. But we'll see that as we go along. One of the things people often ask is what type of tape I like to use, and this is Scotch sharp edge tape, I think is what it's called. I just get it at Home Depot locally here, and it's really nice because you can see that it does give you a really sharp, clean edge, and it comes off easily. And the only place it does stick and tear is if you use it on paper, but if you do a little gesso over the top of the paper before you use the tape, you tend to be just fine. So that's what it is, and I like it a lot. I highly recommend it.